Hello, my name is Lou Ortiz, and I'm going to show you how to automate a system changeover using a program called If This Then That. This changeover is necessary to qualify for energy rebate programs. Panasonic's warranty does not extend to any products where any deviation from the instructions provided herein has been made, or any alteration to the products have been made. Any such action may void Panasonic's warranty and obligation to provide service support. So what will we need to automate a primary system changeover? A Panasonic mini split heat pump system or systems, an internet connection, a Wi-Fi router, a Honeywell D6 Pro to control the Panasonic heat pump, a Wi-Fi enabled thermostat that's compatible with the If This Then That program for your existing heating system. For a list of compatible Wi-Fi thermostats, please visit IFTTT, IFTTT.com/services, and install the If This Then That app or use an internet browser. Today we'll be using the Honeywell D6 IR thermostat. This will control your Panasonic mini splits. For your existing system, which will more than likely be a fossil fuel system, we're going to be using the Honeywell T9 in this demonstration. This thermostat happens to be good for gas, electric oil, hot water, on forced air, and radiant boilers. Both of these thermostats utilize the same Honeywell Home app. It's available at the App Store and Google Play. Be sure to configure both of your thermostats and ensure proper operation before continuing on. So let me explain what we'll be doing with the IF program and how to create your mass saves changeover. When the outdoor temperature is 40 degrees and above, the Panasonic mini split will become the primary heat source. When the Panasonic mini split does become the primary heat source, we will be programming the desired heating set point. When the outdoor temperature is 39 degrees and below, the fossil fuel system will become the main heat source. When the fossil fuel system becomes the main heat source, we will also be setting the desired heating set point. So let's begin by logging into the If This Then That website. You can find it by Googling IFTTT. So once you're at the site, you'll probably need to sign up. In our case, we've already completed that step, so we will go ahead and just sign in. So what we're going to do first is we're going to teach the If This Then That program about our thermostats. In our case, we have two Honeywell thermostats operating off of the same application. So let's click on the search bar and type in Honeywell. Now we're going to click on the Services tab, and we are looking for the Honeywell Home app. So we will click on that. At this point, you should have your Honeywell Home app registered and you have tested it and everything is working properly. So now we're going to tell the Honeywell app to go ahead and speak with the If This Then That program by logging in to the Honeywell Home app via our credentials. Let's click on Connect, and you'll be presented with the Honeywell Home login. Enter your credentials and click Login. Read and agree to the terms of use. So the Honeywell Home app has two devices. It has the D6 Pro, which is controlling the Panasonic unit, and it has the T9, which we have labeled fossil fuel. If you have multiple Panasonic mini split systems or multiple indoor units, they would be listed here as well. So now let's connect these two thermostats to the If This Then That program. You can verify that you successfully entered the Honeywell Home app into the If This Then That program by looking for this little link in the upper right hand corner. If you see that, you know that you have successfully added the two thermostats. So let's begin programming our system changeover. Let's click on the Profile button and click on Create. So let's begin by clicking on this. In the search bar, let's enter weather and click on the weather underground. At this point, the if this then that program is asking you if you would like to connect it. Click yes. So let's begin by configuring the Panasonic mini split. As I said earlier in this video, the Panasonic mini split will become the primary heat source when the outdoor temperature is 40 degrees and above. So let's click on the current temperature rises above. We'll enter 40 degrees and the location. You can use an address or a zip code and enter. Then let's create trigger. You're now presented with the that option. Let's click on that. In the search bar, let's enter Honeywell. Usually a few letters will do. Click on the Honeywell Home app. Let's use the set temperature to a permanent hold. Be sure that you do not have any timer events programmed into your thermostats, as this will override the permanent hold. However, you may change your set point from the app or the thermostat if you so desire. This will not override your preferred set point. So the first setting in this action is asking us which thermostat we would like to use. So as you can see, we're seeing both of the thermostats, and we can choose either one. But since we're setting the Panasonic system, let's select that D6. We want to make sure that we're set to heat, and we're going to set our current temperature. Our current temperature is what we would like the space to be. So in this example, we're going to be using 66 degrees. That's going to be the actual set point that we're going to use for both systems, the fossil fuel and the mini split. So let's go ahead and set this to 66. If you prefer 68, by all means set it to 68. If you prefer 63, use that number too. But for now, we're going to use the 66. You can always return back to this and replace that target temperature to your liking. Temperature should be in Fahrenheit, and let's create action. So we're presented with a summary of what we've just programmed. I like to add a few things just so it's easier for me to refer back to it if I need to. So I set the D6. After that, I put Panasonic and temperature to 66. Now I know at a quick glance that this is the program controlling my Panasonic indoor unit. Then just go ahead and click on Finish. So we've just created the first of 4 applets. Let's click on the Profile or Menu button and click on Create. So let's tell the fossil fuel what to do when the outdoor temperature reaches 40 degrees and above. Let's click on this. In the search bar, type in Weather. Select the Weather Underground app and select the current temperature rises above. So let's enter 40 degrees Fahrenheit, location, and click on Create Trigger. Then we're presented with the That option. Let's click on the That option. In the search bar, let's type a few letters of the Honeywell Home app, click on that, select the Set Temperature to a Permanent Hold option, and we're going to tell the fossil fuel system that the Panasonic system has taken over. So we're going to set this to a 61 degrees as a standby or as a backup. That's going to be in Fahrenheit, and then create action. So now we have a summary of the second applet that we've created. Let's just add the set temperature of 61 into the summary, and we'll click Finish. So now the Panasonic mini split and the fossil fuel system know what to do when the outside temperature is above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's create the second half of this logic. Let's click on the profile symbol or the menu, click Create. So let's begin the second half of this primary system changeover. Let's click on this. In the search bar, type a few letters of the word weather, and let's select weather underground. So now we want to select current temperature drops below. So now we're going to set up the parameters at which the fossil fuel system will become the primary heat source in the home. Let's set the temperature to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, location, and click on Create Trigger. Then we're presented with the That option. Let's click on that. Go to the search bar and type in a few letters of the Honeywell Home app. Click on that, and we're going to use the Set Temperature to a Permanent Hold. As I said earlier while we were creating the Panasonic Mini Split Primary System applets, make sure that you do not have any scheduled events in your thermostats. This will override this permanent hold. However, you may change your set point from the thermostat or the app as you see fit. The permanent hold will not override your adjustments to the set point changes you have made. So let's click on Set Temperature to a Permanent Hold. Since we are setting the fossil fuel system to become the primary heat source, let's go ahead and select the fossil fuel thermostat. Make sure we're in heat, and let's set the target temperature. Again, in this example, we are using 66. If you prefer 68, you may use that number as well too. Make sure you were in Fahrenheit, and then let's create action. So now we're presented with the summary of the applet we've just created. So I'm going to add set fossil fuel temperature to 66. And you know what? I am going to even change this to say primary heat source. And click on Finish. So we've created 3 applets, and there's only one more to go. Let's click on the profile or menu button. Click on Create. This. In the search bar, enter a few letters of weather. And we're going to select the current temperature drops below. So at 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Enter our address or zip code, and then click on Create Trigger. Then we'll click on the That, and we're going to bring up the Honeywell Home app. So we're going to again click on the Set Temperature to a Permanent Hold. So now let's go ahead and tell the So let's go ahead and set up the Panasonic system. We're using the D6, which controls the Panasonic system. Set it to heat. And our current temperature, which is going to be a setback, we're going to set to 61. Make sure you're in Fahrenheit. And click on Create Action. So once again, we're presented with the summary. And I'm going to change the D6 and say that 61 degrees will be our set point. Then click on Finish. So the last thing I'd like to review with you is how to make updates to these applets. Let's start by clicking on the profile or the menu button and click on My Applets. So now we can see all 4 of our applets. Now I didn't name the Panasonic applet the primary heat source when it does become the primary heat source. So this is a perfect example on how to make changes to this applet. So let's click on this applet, and we'll click on the Settings button in the upper right hand corner. So let's start at the top. I want to edit this summary, so click on Edit Title. I'm going to highlight Permanent Hold and Heat Mode. And I'm going to change that to primary heat source. You can just click on the side when you're done. You can scroll down, and one note on this: current temperature rises above and below. The outdoor temperatures are dictated by the rebate program you are participating in. So these numbers should not be changed as far as when the fossil fuel system becomes the primary heat source versus when the Panasonic system becomes the primary heat source. Let's scroll down, and the most important thing here in this settings is your target temperature. If 66 was not working for you, if you would like it a little warmer, by all means change it up to 68. You can change it right here if you decide that 63 is something that you would rather have. You can set it here too. So you can come back and change this as often as you like until you find that target temperature that's working best for you. So at this point, we're going to change this back to 66, and we're going to click on Save. I'm Lou Ortiz with the Panasonic Heating and Air Conditioning Solutions Group, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thanks.